Archaeologists have discovered a huge ancient city hidden underground in Mexico, which may give a better understanding of the Maya civilization.
What lies beneath the ruins may just change the story of the Maya forever. Stay tuned, because what we're about to show you might shake the foundations of history. Deep in the heart of Central America lies a thick green jungle, hot, humid, and filled with ancient secrets. This is the Petén region of Guatemala, a wild land covered in dense trees and vines. For years, explorers thought they had found most of the big Maya cities in this area. But they were wrong, so wrong. From the sky, all you see is endless green, no buildings, no pyramids, just trees. But what if I told you, beneath those trees, there's something huge, a city, roads, palaces, pyramids, all hidden just beneath the surface. In 2022, scientists brought in a game-changing tool called LiDAR, short for light detection and ranging. It's like using laser eyes from the sky. Planes fly over the jungle, shooting thousands of laser pulses per second. These lasers bounce off the ground below, even through thick leaves and branches. What they saw next shocked everyone. The lasers revealed a massive hidden world. More than 60,000 man-made structures, all buried under centuries of forest. These weren't just small huts. They found pyramids, highways, canals, defense walls, farms, and even entire neighborhoods. It's like finding a lost city the size of Manhattan, in the middle of the jungle. This wasn't just one city, it was part of a huge Maya network, all connected by raised stone roads that stretched for miles. And it was all built over 1,000 years ago without metal tools or wheels. At first, they thought they had found one small site. But as the lasers kept scanning, they realized something much bigger was hiding in the shadows of the forest. The Maya didn't just live here. They ruled here, built here, thrived here. And now, piece by piece, their lost world is coming back to life. Just when the jungle had revealed one of its biggest secrets, it gave archaeologists something even more shocking. A hidden tomb, sealed, silent, untouched for nearly 1,700 years. This is Francisco Estrada-Belli, a brave archaeologist from Tulane University. He spent years exploring the deep forests of Guatemala, searching for clues about the ancient Maya. His team was using LiDAR maps to follow old roads, temples, and ruins when something caught their attention. In a place called Chactun, they were digging near a site where looters had already stolen treasures years ago. Most would have given up, but not Estrada-Belli. Just 6 feet away from the looted area, his team kept digging. A stone entrance, sealed, hidden beneath tangled roots and centuries of dirt. What they discovered inside left everyone speechless. The chamber was pristine, completely untouched by looters or time. The air inside hadn't moved in over 1,000 years. It was like stepping into a moment frozen in time. Lying within the chamber were royal treasures, a glowing jade mosaic mask carved with extreme detail, bright spiny oyster shells used by elites for trade and ceremony, and human bones carved with symbols, one even showing the face of the man inside. The hieroglyphs told the story. This wasn't just any burial, it was the resting place of Wati, a powerful Maya king or high priest, possibly both. He lived around 350 CE during the early classic period of Maya history. His name was linked to great cities like Tikal and Teotihuacan. That means he had power, status, and connections to other ancient empires. This was no ordinary grave. This was a royal time capsule, perfectly sealed for over 17 centuries. And now, we were the first to open it. Inside the dark, sealed tomb, time had stopped. Everything inside was exactly how it had been nearly 1,700 years ago. But what truly shocked the team wasn't just the age of the tomb, it was what lay inside. Right next to the body was a glowing jade mask. It wasn't just a decoration. In Maya culture, jade was sacred, more valuable than gold. This mask was made from small pieces of green jade, carefully shaped and fitted together like a puzzle. This wasn't just a pretty mask. It was a symbol of divine power, worn only by kings or high priests. Wearing it meant you were chosen by the gods. Scattered around the tomb were over 16 bright orange and purple spiny oyster shells. Now that might not sound exciting until you know what they meant. These shells came from the ocean, far from the jungle cities. They were ancient status symbols. Only the rich and powerful had them. To the Maya, these shells were like owning designer clothes or rare gems. Finding them here proved that Wati wasn't just important. He was connected to a vast trade network. And then, the team found something chilling. Human femur bones, beautifully carved with detailed images. One of them showed a man wearing a jade mask, very likely Wati himself. It was as if the bones were telling his story, like a message from the past still waiting to be read. They were history books, carved in bone instead of paper. These treasures weren't just valuable, they were full of meaning. They told us who Wati was. They showed us what mattered to the Maya. And they gave us a rare look into a world that disappeared long ago. Inside Wati's tomb, the treasures were incredible, but the writing on the artifacts, even more powerful. Carved into bones, shells, and stone walls were ancient Maya glyphs, a secret language from the past waiting to be decoded. These glyphs weren't random symbols. They told real stories about kings, gods, wars, and royal families. When experts translated the writing, they made a shocking discovery. They had just found a royal bloodline. The glyphs said that Wati was no ordinary man. He was connected to two of the most powerful Maya cities of the time. Tikal, a huge kingdom with tall pyramids and a strong army. Teotihuacan, a giant city far away in what is now Mexico. That's right. Wati had ties across Maya and Mesoamerican empires. He may have been part of a royal marriage, a powerful priesthood, or a political alliance. Think of these glyphs like the Maya version of a news blog or royal gossip column. They told stories of who ruled before and after Wati, what wars were fought, which gods were honored, what rituals were performed in his name. Some glyphs described bloody battles and victories. Others spoke of sacred ceremonies where rulers offered gifts or even blood to the gods. It's like we're hearing voices from the past. The Maya recorded their victories, beliefs, and family drama, all in stone. These writings help us understand how the Maya ruled their cities, how power was passed down through families, and how religion was deeply tied to leadership. In just a few carved symbols, we uncovered an entire story of power, pride, and mystery, one that had been buried for 1,700 years. But just a few steps away from one of the greatest Maya discoveries ever was a crime scene. Before archaeologists found Wati's tomb, looters had already been there, digging, stealing, and destroying parts of nearby ruins. They were just 6 feet away from the sealed tomb. That's less than the length of a car. If they had gone just a little further, this tomb would have been lost forever. Thousands of ancient treasures have been stolen this way, sold illegally, broken, or forgotten. Once they're gone, we lose the chance to learn their stories forever. Luckily, this time, technology beat the looters. Thanks to LiDAR scans, archaeologist Francisco Estrada-Belli and his team were guided to the exact spot. It was pure chance and science that helped them find the tomb before it was destroyed. Now every object inside the tomb is being carefully cleaned, scanned, and preserved. 3D models are being made to study the tomb without touching it. Digital maps help researchers share the site with the world without damaging it. It's not just archaeologists doing the work. Local communities are helping to protect the site. Global museums and universities are offering support, sending experts, funding, and technology. When a tomb like this is found, the whole world needs to come together to protect it. Wadi's tomb could have been just another empty hole, looted and forgotten. But today, it's a symbol of hope, proof that we can protect the past, if we act fast and work together. When archaeologists opened Wadi's tomb, they didn't just find old treasures. They found new answers, and even more questions. For years, history books said that the early classic period of the Maya, around 250 to 600 CE, was still a time of small kingdoms and limited power. But the tomb of Wadi tells a very different story. His jade mask, his ties to powerful cities, his fancy burial. It all points to something big. The Maya were already expanding, uniting, and building an empire. And it started earlier than most people believed. The glyphs in the tomb showed us that Wadi had connections to Tikal, a massive Maya city. But even more surprising, there were links to Teotihuacan, a huge city far away in Mexico. That means trade, politics, and religion were flowing across great distances. Think about it. These ancient civilizations, hundreds of miles apart, were talking, sharing ideas, and maybe even fighting or teaming up. Wadi's tomb shows that the Maya weren't just jungle people building pyramids. They were smart, organized, and global thinkers. Even back then. It's like turning the page in a history book and finding a whole missing chapter. Here's the big question. If this one tomb changed so much, how many more are still buried, untouched, waiting to be found? With new tools like LiDAR and teams searching across the jungle, we might only be at the beginning of what the Maya left behind. As the dust settled and the last artifact was carefully removed, the team stood in silence. They had just opened a tomb that hadn't been touched in 1,700 years. For archaeologist Francisco Estrada-Belli and his crew, this wasn't just a job. It was a moment they'd never forget. Some team members were even brought to tears. It felt like Wadi was still here, like he had been waiting for us. They weren't just digging up dirt, they were bringing history back to life. A lost voice from the past, finally heard again. But here's the truth. For every tomb like Wadi's that is saved, there are dozens still buried, forgotten, or worse, looted and destroyed. The Peten jungle is massive, and LiDAR scans show that thousands of ruins may still be hiding under the trees. Every step in that forest could be walking over an ancient city, a palace, or a royal tomb. So we're left with a question that chills the spine. What else have we missed? What secrets still sleep beneath the jungle's green silence? The Maya built entire worlds, full of kings, stories, art, and dreams. Most of it is still out there, buried just beneath our feet. If this journey into the lost world of Wadi moved you, hit that like button. Subscribe for more ancient discoveries, untold mysteries, and the stories that history left behind.